Hello, I'm Chaplain Judy Malana of Naval District Washington. Please allow me to ask you a simple question. What is inside of you right now? I mean, what is deep inside your personhood? Is it fear over the health and safety of family, friends, or yourself? Is it frustration over the disruption of our daily routines and way of life? Are you finding yourself more impatient with others, frustrated, exhausted, feeling helpless or stuck? Are you being drained of life's joy? Are you filled with anxiety of the unknown? What's inside of you right now? If you find that overwhelming stress and worry are outweighing your inner peace and calmness, consider building your spiritual resilience. What is spiritual resilience? Now, while spirituality may have many definitions, in a broad sense, spiritual resilience can mean strengthening the source of meaning and purpose in our lives. That source of meaning and purpose can ground us when storms of crisis come over us. It's like the deep roots of a tree that keep it standing upright and strong when the winds blow. Spiritual resilience strengthens the core of our souls. This is a time when we practice social distancing. However, distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. And social distancing doesn't mean spiritual distancing or spiritual disconnecting. In fact, to build spiritual resilience, we must remain spiritually connected to ourselves, our faith, and our communities. To build spiritual resilience, we must connect with ourselves. That means slowing down, taking deep breaths when needed, making and finding time for yourself, just yourself. It's creating sacred spaces where we can privately reflect on our emotions, thoughts, goals, and dreams. You might want to write these down in a journal for further reflection. I know I do. And you know, the good thing about a journal is it doesn't judge, it doesn't care about your spelling or your grammar. It's just for you. It can be a sacred space. You may also want to observe the beauty of nature, taking in the sights, sounds, smells, and all the sensory delights that nature has to offer, simply taking a walk alone and experiencing that for yourself. You might want to discover classic literature, poetry, or read biographies of those who overcame hardship and became great figures in our history. Another way to connect with ourselves is to appreciate music, art, cinema, and even television shows which highlight shared spiritual values. In other words, we must feed our souls. In addition to connecting with ourselves, to build spiritual resilience, we must connect with our own faith. This can be as simple as starting the day with a positive outlook. We can reframe our thoughts and emotions and look for the positive, and we can do this by reflecting on and discovering gratitude. Even in the midst of a crisis, there are things we can be grateful for if we look hard enough. We can be thankful for our loved ones, our leaders, our military families, our first responders, healthcare workers, and caregivers. There is goodness all around us, and there is light in the darkness. There always is. If you have a particular religious tradition, practice the tenets of your beliefs through prayer, meditation, and reading sacred scriptures. For example, I'm a Christian, and I find comfort in reading the Psalms. One of my favorite Psalms is Psalm 91, and it states, "Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely he will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. Turn to your sacred scriptures for comfort. We must also realize that whatever we're going through right now is not permanent. That's right, it's not permanent. We must understand that once this storm passes, and it will, we will be stronger. And finally, to build spiritual resilience, we must remain connected with our communities. Social distancing doesn't mean spiritual distancing with others. We can send uplifting text messages or emails. We can show someone we care with a friendly phone call. We can contact those who are shut in, restricted in movement, or quarantined. And we can do that through the telephone. We can write letters or cards of gratitude. You know, I just received a card in a mail, a card of gratitude from a friend of mine, just thanking me for some encouraging words during this difficult time. And I could tell you, while I'm not there to physically hug my friend, I feel more connected than ever. So reach out to someone, maybe that you haven't in a while. And another way that we can remain connected to our communities is to donate blood or have groceries or meals delivered to a family facing economic hardship. We can share the wealth that we've been blessed. There are things we can do today to keep connected with those around us. And you know, when we help others, we are the ones that perhaps benefit the most. So building spiritual resilience begins with small steps we can take every day to connect with ourselves, our faith, and our communities. We may not be able to have total control over everything, but we can control how we approach the storms that come our way. And we can do this by taking those steps to build our spiritual resilience. The Christian theologian Reinhard Niebuhr penned this prayer: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Amen. And remember this too shall pass, and we will get through this storm together, and together we will be better for it. May God continue to bless you, our Navy family, and our nation. Semper Fortis, shipmates.